Okay, I'm not really sure how this is gonna come out. And all I know is that I can go on the keyboard. Let me see here. Let me find the keyboard. And just head it back. Okay, so here we have my beautiful family, the Molina Riveiro family. Okay, and this photograph was taken in 1936 in Guatemala City. The photograph that you're gonna see was taken then. So let's see here. And honestly, let's see here. There it is. Now that is the famous photograph that we have of my mom's family. This is the deal. This is the real deal. Okay? And actually Imelda had 9 children. She had another daughter before Liliana. And her name was also Liliana, but she died. So, and then my mom was born and they called her Liliana also. So that's what's going on with that one. And so let me tell you who these people are. Because all of these people are uncles. So, okay, so it looks like we have Rodolfo. And then I think we have Rene. And then we have Roberto. And then Guayo is over there. He's the oldest. So Guayo is the oldest. Rene is the second oldest. And then I think you have Roberto. And then you have Rodolfo. And then here's Mario. And then that's my mom, Lily. And then there was Grace. Maria de los Ángeles. Graciela. Maria de los Ángeles. Yeah. And then the baby was Coco. So I'm thinking that around 1936, because my mom was born in 1928, and she looks like she's like 8 there, or 9. She was a beautiful girl. So, and then the story with Imelda, that's their mother. When this photograph was taken, Imelda cut out her picture, her image. She was superstitious. She felt that it was bad luck to have your image taken in a photograph. So she took it out. And so that photo there is a photo of one of her IDs, her cedula or something like that. I think Margie, my brother's ex-wife, she went ahead and put that photo on there. Because before that wasn't there. And then with Guayo, notice how strange that looks? I'm not really sure what the story with that picture is. Because his mouth looks like somebody put something on it. Probably Mario. Mario was very mischievous. So, yeah. Now, you notice how serious they all look? They're all very serious because people in those days, when they took photographs, they really didn't smile. They were very serious. You know, they just, I don't know. I guess it was a different time, different life. And so that's what they did. So the father, Papa Guayo, Mama Meca, but really it's Eduardo and Imelda. You know, wow, can you imagine having 9 kids? Like, man, that's like really intense, you know, and trying to raise all those kids. And look at all the boys that they had. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boys and 2 girls. So there's a lot of stories about Imelda being very strict. She used to, if they came in home late after the hour that they were expected to be home, oh, she would give them a whooping. She was ready to hit them. She had a belt, and she would use it. And so they knew, that if they came late, they were going to be in a lot of trouble. So that's. Now, she died, like if my mom's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 7 years later, she dies. I think we think she had uterine cancer or something like that. She had cancer. She died from a cancer. And so she it was hard. And so my mom and Grace, and by that time, mom was around 14, 15, and I think Grace must have been like 12. They used to stay at home and take care of their mother. And Guayo, Eduardo, would go to work, and the boys were probably going to school, and I think probably the oldest one, Eduardo, was probably already working, or at least starting to go out into the world and work. So she dies, and when she dies, this family just completely falls apart. It's devastating. And we're thinking that she died, let's see, if my mom's like 8, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 36, and let's see, 8, and she died 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 7 years later. She dies like in 42, 43, something like that. And it's really tough on everybody. It was hard. It was very hard. Guatemala, and the economy of Guatemala in those days wasn't all that great. So for the boys, it must have been in the 40s, there weren't a lot of opportunities, and so the younger boys, I think for them it was really hard. For Rene and Roberto especially, it was probably really, really hard to get out and find work. I know that Roberto, he's right here. That's Roberto. I know for a fact that he, with Mario also, apparently, and Rodolfo, those three guys, they were the ones that were hanging out the most. I think they were all similar ages, because Rene dies right after this. He dies of tuberculosis, pneumonia. And I have another picture of him that I might bring out later and show it in some other video. He was a handsome man. So those three guys, Rodolfo, Roberto, and Mario, they when they got older after their mother died, and basically the family just fell apart. Eduardo was already having an affair with another woman, and he was having children with her, which is really interesting. My mom recalls when they were little, Eduardo's other woman would bring her two sons over when they were babies, Carlos and Raúl. That was their names, and Imelda would take care of them, because their mother, her name was Francisca, but we called her Paquita. She had to work, and she worked a lot. So she was like this second woman, the second lover on the side. It must have been really hard for her, pobrecita. But yeah, Imelda was so kind. She would she would totally take care of her husband's lover's kids. I mean, imagine that. It was really, she was amazing too. So that was going on. And so when she dies, Eduardo goes and then he goes and lives with Paquita, with Francisca. And my mom and Grace, they're older. They hate Francisca. They hate her because, well, because she's taken their father away from them, right? And plus, I mean, Eduardo tells his daughters, you have to come and stay with me, but they didn't want to go and stay with them, but they did because, they had no other place to go, obviously. But immediately after that, I think Lily goes to a boarding school, and Grace, I mean, she got married really young. I think Grace got married at 16. So, and her dad, Eduardo, he was more than willing to send her off, because they were struggling to survive, so, and she married into a very good family in Guatemala. The Gonzaleses were considered a good family. I'm not really sure why. I mean, in terms of like stability, economic stability, right? Very different than Eduardo, who was not, he was struggling all the time, and plus he had a lot of kids. And so the boys were really just like fending for themselves after this family falls apart. And they're like out and about in Guatemala trying to find work. So they eventually, it was beginning of World War II. The Americans were there. They go to Puerto San Jose, the port, and they get jobs in ships. But of course, that didn't last too long, right? I mean, yeah. So I don't know. They probably did that for a year, maybe months. Who knows? I'm not really sure. So it was tough. It was very, very tough. And that's, yeah. Now, the cool thing is that this family, out of these two people, Eduardo and Imelda, they have all these kids now. All of these kids here have their own kids. So I have here an image, which is really cool. Let's see if I can pull it out. Let's see. So the extended family, Antigua, Guatemala 2010. So I organized a family reunion in Antigua because I wanted just to bring everybody together for Mom before she died. So as you can see, she is, let's see here, where is Lily? Oh, there she is. Let me get closer. That's her right there. The lady with the white hair. Ahí está Lily. That's Lily. This photograph is... There's Willie there, her son, my brother. Some of Grace's kids. I mean, there they are. I know almost everybody really well. Of course, this was 2010. And we're in 2024, so that was 14 years ago. So a lot has happened. And everybody's gotten older. There they are. Look at that beautiful, really beautiful, awesome family. They're so beautiful. Oh man, there's Frank. He's great. Really, really, there's like my cousins and their kids. I mean, it was just like a huge, there's John, he's passed. My mom's passed on.